You know how there are celebrity chefs? Well, there's celebrity personalities in bourbon too. And one of them is a guy by the name of Dixon Dedman, who has recently launched 2XO. Let's find out if the bourbon lives up to the celebrity reputation. This is 2XO, the Tribute Blend. It is the third release in an ongoing small batch blend series from 2XO, which stands for 2 times oak. Each release unique, created by blending select stocks of the finest barrels and crafted using a double barreling process. The Tribute Blend is 104 proof. It just hit the market. It's $100. Let's find out if it's worth that. All right, so the internet tells me that Dixon Dedman is a rather famous guy. He's very well known for expertise in blending, which is a super cool thing in bourbon. He was previously well known for Kentucky Owl. I have the Kentucky Owl Confiscated here. He left Kentucky Owl a while ago and he started this new company called 2XO. 2XO has released a few different products now, maybe 4 products total. This is the first one that I've been able to get my hands on. I've been really looking forward to trying one. So let's give this a shot. Fresh crack, so let's get it real swirled up. Wow, the baking spice is what jumps out of this right away. First nose. I'm pretty interested. Oh, it just smells so nice. Tons of baking spice, but it seems like it's already making me think balance. I think I'm picking up on a pretty strong rye impact. It's got like a lot of honey, very caramely. Tons of baking spice. Wow, it smells really good. Wow, that is quite nice. It is very sweet. Kind of a honeyed sweetness. Super noticeable right away. Even kind of like rich and viscous, which of course also makes me want to say honey. And the sweetness it stays through the whole experience. It's finishing sweet. It's very mouthwatering too. Lots of kind of savory notes at the end to make it very mouthwatering. Little spike of spiciness from maybe like the baking spice kind of spiciness in the middle of the palate. Overall, it's not aggressive. It's not gentle. Oh, fun. I'm getting so much more of like a sweet charred oak character on the nose now, having tasted it. Wow, yeah, man, oh man. That kind of lovely charred oak is jumping out of the nose now. Strong rye vibes, no dryness. For something double oaked. No dryness in there. Mostly sweet. Rye spice. The finish does last quite a while. Way in the back of the palate. A little bit of a spice kind of tingle. It's definitely reminding me of some things, but my memory's not jumping out with like specific bottles that it's reminding me of yet. We'll have to do a little bottle tour and see if we can find some things to compare this to. Sweet charred oak honey thing is really very, very interesting. But there's also a lot of spice and it's getting drier the longer I drink it, which I think is a good thing. It's nicer that it's doing that given how sweet it starts. You need that dryness to pair with that sweetness so that it really blends together and balances itself. That's what you want. That's good. Let's top this off and let's do some comparison. All right, so first things first, obviously we have to compare it to the Kentucky Owl Confiscated. This one is only 96.4 proof compared to the 104. Minor story, this is one of the first kind of, harder-ish to find, more expensive bottles that I ever acquired. And when I first got it, I absolutely fell in love with it. And over time, I kind of fell out of love with it. And I've done some blinds with it where it did better than I was expecting. It's always filled kind of a weird spot for me. Oh, so different. Both very predominant rye. Lots and lots of baking spice in this as well. More of an astringent character. More of like a burn on the nostrils. It doesn't have that strong, sweet charred oak vibe. Man, yeah, this feels so much deeper, rounder, richer. It's almost got like a young corn note in it. All right, tasting Kentucky Owl. Ha, interesting. The Kentucky Owl actually starts with a very similar sweetness, but it gets dry really quick, kind of very dry actually. The longer you spend with it, the longer the finish goes, kind of the more dry it gets. A little bitter, Also mouthwatering though. There's a very bitter oak that is persistent in this. Not necessarily in an off-putting way, maybe. I gotta admit, that's not half bad. All right, here's the 2XO. Yeah, that super rich sweetness. That's pretty nice. Man, that is so sweet. Gosh, wow, it is shocking how sweet that starts. And then spice, truly spice. Not dry oak, actually spice. Oh, no question, the 2XO. Much more to my preference than this Kentucky Owl is. Yeah, hands down. That's quite good. Here's something else to compare to. The Blue Run High Rye. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know, one of the things that came to my memory as I'm tasting the 2XO. This is not a double oaked product, just a high rye product. 111 proof, so pretty similar proof point. And the prettiest bottle in the game, huh? Oh no, totally different. Wow, this is so nice. Maybe a little bit more of kind of an herbal kind of thing, like almost a lemongrass sort of something, but in the background, just sort of setting it apart. Doesn't have like the baking spice that jumps out in the same way. It's got more of a herbal rye almost, but not overly herbal, like no dill, nothing like that. Maybe a tiny little bit. It smells nice. Here's the 2XO nose again. Oh my. I gotta say, that baking spice paired with that super sweet charred oak kind of honey thing is pretty special. Yeah, okay, so the rye does share, there's a commonality with that these are similar a little bit, but also they're very, very different. Oh, holy smokes, that Blue Run is good. Much more aggressive in some ways. It seems a little hotter almost, but without being like just burning, but it's got that kind of hot spice. The finish is sort of, I would say, a little less interesting than what happens in the 2XO. Very different. But oh man, this Blue Run is really delicious. Man, that's a good bourbon. Thanks again, Kathy. Reviewed this one in another video. You can go check that out if you're interested. That's a tough call. Between these two, the 2XO is a lot more complex, much longer finish, much longer. And comparatively, so much more dry. After having this on the tongue, then you drink the 2XO and the dryness was really amped up in the finish. Sides of the tongue kind of thing. Tingly and lovely. So nice. Long. Very, very interesting, but much more complex and in some ways a little more challenging too, compared to the Blue Run. What else in this basement closet is good to compare? If you'd have asked me, I would have told you that I was a big fan of double oaked products, but I don't really have any double oaked things in the closet right now, I don't think. Which is surprising. The closest thing I seem to have right now is this Penelope Barrel Strength Toasted series. I mean, it's kind of double oaked. It was finished in a toasted barrel. It's not the same thing. Toasted is going to have a lot of different characteristics, but I mean, we can taste them. This Penelope Toasted just won a kind of random blind that I did recently, and it was in some ways a very surprising win. If you want to check that out, just a couple of videos ago. Wow, that is lovely. Smoky. So complex. No one note, just lots and lots of stuff happens. Man, that is such a fascinating, complex, interesting bourbon. Talk about a ride of flavors. Yeah, wow, that's something else. Totally nothing even remotely similar. Oh, this 2XO, the Tribute Blend. This is good. This is holding up. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm not seeing really anything else that I think would be worth pulling from the closet to compare it to. So the verdict on 2XO, the Tribute Blend. Yeah, that's good. That is really good. Is it worth $100? Easy. Easy, yes. Look, if you're a person who's willing to spend $100 on bourbon, then this is worth spending the $100 on. Especially the way bourbon prices are these days. This is very delicious. It is very complex. It is quite different. It really is. So, delicious. Excellent. Wonderful. That's 2XO, the Tribute Blend. little first impressions, little comparison tasting for you. Thanks again for watching. This is another episode of the Whiskey Closet, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.